Finding your purpose isn't just about living, it's about living with intention. Too many people wake up every day and go through motions working jobs they hate, spending time with people who drain their energy, and chasing goals that don't fulfill them. Purpose isn't something you stumble upon, it's something you discover, and that discovery starts by asking yourself the hard questions: what truly matters to me? What am I passionate about? What legacy do I want to leave behind? These questions aren't always easy to answer, but they're essential if you want to live a life of meaning. Your purpose is unique to you. It's not what your parents told you to do, not what your friends expect from you, and definitely not what society says you should pursue. It's personal. It's the thing that sets your soul on fire and the thing that makes you lose track of time because you're so invested in it. And here's the truth. You already know what it is. Deep down, you felt it. Maybe you've ignored it because it feels too big, too risky, or too unconventional. But ignoring your purpose won't make it go away. It'll just leave you feeling empty. Living without purpose is like driving a car with no destination. You keep moving, but where are you going? You might achieve some things, but if those achievements aren't aligned with your purpose, they'll feel hollow. You'll get the promotion, buy the house, take the vacations, and still feel like something is missing. That's because purpose isn't about external success, it's about internal fulfillment. It's about waking up every day with clarity, knowing that what you're doing matters and aligns with who you truly are. Discovering your purpose requires self-reflection and honesty. You have to take a hard look at your life and ask yourself if you're living for yourself or for someone else's expectation. Are you pursuing a career because it's what you truly love or because it's what's safe? Are your goals your own or are they borrowed dreams? Answering these questions may not be comfortable, but discomfort is the birthplace of growth. Purpose doesn't live in the comfort zone, it lives on the other side of self-discovery. Your purpose is always tied to one thing. It evolves as you grow and experience life. What you're passionate about at 20 might not be what fuels you at 40, and that's okay. The key is to stay in tune with yourself and be willing to pivot when necessary. Don't box yourself in with the idea that purpose has to be singular or static. It's a journey, not a destination. And every step you take toward understanding it brings you closer to living a life of authenticity. Purpose gives your pain a reason. Life isn't always easy and challenges will come, but when you're living with purpose, those challenges don't feel meaningless. They become stepping stones, lessons that strengthen you and push you closer to your goals. Without purpose, pain feels like suffering. With purpose, pain becomes growth. It gives you the strength to persevere when things get tough because you know you're fighting for something that matters. People who live with purpose don't have more time, energy, or resources than anyone else. The difference is they know what they're working toward, and that focus drives them. Purpose acts like a compass, guiding your decisions and keeping you on track. It helps you say no to distractions and yes to opportunities that align with your vision. Without it, you're susceptible to every shiny object and fleeting trend that comes your way. With it, you're grounded and intentional. Purpose just about you. When you live with purpose, you inspire others to do the same. Your life becomes a beacon showing people what's possible when you follow your heart and live authentically. It creates a ripple effect, touching lives in ways you may never even realize. That's the power of purpose. It's not just about personal fulfillment. It's about making an impact, leaving the world a little better than you found it. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is that there will be a perfect moment to start. We convince ourselves that when the stars align, when we have more money, more time, more skills, then we'll take action. But that moment never comes. Life is messy. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and reasons to wait. Perfection is a myth, and waiting for it is the quickest way to guarantee you'll stay exactly where you are. The truth is, you don't need perfect conditions. You need the courage to start with what you have. Think about the most successful people you know. Do you think they waited for everything to fall into place before they took a step forward? Absolutely not. They started when they were scared, when they were unprepared, when they didn't have all the answers. They learned as they went, adapting and growing with every challenge. That's the secret. Progress doesn't come from waiting for the right conditions. It comes from taking action despite the conditions. The problem with waiting for perfection is that it gives you an excuse to procrastinate. It feels safe. You tell yourself, I'm not ready yet. And that becomes your reason for staying in your comfort zone. But what you're really doing is wasting time. You're letting fear disguise itself as preparation. You don't need more time. You need to stop making excuses. Action is what creates readiness, not the other way around. Starting imperfectly is better than not starting at all. Every time you take a step forward, no matter how small, you're learning and growing. You're gaining experience, building confidence, and moving closer to your goal. The mistakes you make along the way are not failures, they're lessons. They teach you what works, what doesn't, and how to adjust. Perfection doesn't teach you anything because perfection never begins. Waiting for perfect conditions also means you're giving your power away. You're letting external circumstances control your actions. Maybe you're waiting for the economy to improve, for your kids to get older, for someone to give you permission. But life doesn't work like that. There will always be something that feels like a barrier. And if you let those things dictate your choices, you'll never move forward. True power comes from deciding to act regardless of the obstacles. When you focus on the need for perfection, you miss opportunities. Sometimes the best chances come disguised as imperfect situations. Maybe you don't have all the resources, but you have enough to start. Maybe the timing isn't ideal, but it's good enough to take the first step. Life rarely gives you ideal circumstances. It gives you moments, and it's up to you to make the most of them. Every moment you spend waiting for the right time is a moment you could have spent building your future. The fear of failure often hides behind the pursuit of perfect conditions. You tell yourself you'll start when everything is just right, but deep down you're afraid to take the leap. You're afraid of making mistakes, of falling short, of looking foolish. But failure isn't the enemy, inaction is. Failure is a stepping stone, is proof that you're trying, that you're in the game. The only true failure is refusing to start because you're waiting for a guarantee of success. Perfect conditions don't create success. Determination does. Some of the greatest achievements in history were born out of chaos, uncertainty, and less than ideal circumstances. Those achievements happened because someone refused to wait. They started with what they had, where they were, and trusted the process. They understood that waiting for perfection wasn't just a waste of time, it was a waste of potential. Comfort is seductive, it's warm, safe, and predictable. The reason people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that no longer serve them, or routines that lead nowhere. Comfort whispers, stay here, it's familiar, it's easy, you don't have to risk anything. But the truth is, comfort is the silent killer of growth. It lulls you into complacency, convincing you that where you are is good enough. And while you're sitting in that comfort zone, your potential is sitting outside, waiting for you to take the leap. Nothing great has ever been achieved inside the comfort zone. Growth only happens when you're willing to stretch yourself, to step into the unknown and face challenges head on. Think about the times in your life when you accomplished something meaningful. Were you comfortable, or were you pushing yourself beyond your limits? Real progress requires discomfort. It demands that you face your fears, embrace uncertainty, and keep moving forward even when it's hard. The comfort zone is deceptive because it feels like control, but it's really a cage. It keeps you in a place where you're not challenged, where you're not growing, and where you're not fulfilling your potential. The longer you stay in that cage, the smaller your world becomes. You stop dreaming big, you stop taking risks, and eventually you stop believing you're capable of more. That's the trap of comfort. It doesn't just hold you back, it shrinks you. Breaking free from comfort starts with a mindset shift. You have to reframe discomfort as a positive thing. Instead of seeing it as something to avoid, see it as a sign that you're growing. Discomfort means you're stepping into new territory, trying something different, and expanding your horizons. It's proof that you're not settling for mediocrity. The most successful people don't avoid discomfort. They seek it out because they understand the great gate to greatness. Fear is the biggest barrier to leaving the comfort zone. You're afraid of failing, of being judged, of not knowing what comes next. But fear is just a signal that you're doing something that matters. It's not a stop sign, it's a green light telling you to keep going. The only way to overcome fear is to face it. Every time you do, you get stronger, more confident, and more prepared to handle whatever life throws your way. Breaking free also means embracing uncertainty. Comfort gives you the illusion of control, but growth requires you to let go of that control. You won't always know the next step. And that's okay. Success isn't about having all the answers, it's about taking action even when you don't. It's about trusting yourself to figure it out as you go. Uncertainty isn't something to fear, it's an opportunity to explore, discover, and learn. The cost of staying comfortable is far greater than the discomfort of growth. When you look back on your life, do you want to see someone who played it safe, who stayed in their comfort zone because it was easier? Or do you want to see someone who took risks, embraced challenges, and lived up to their full potential? The comfort zone might feel good in the moment, but over time it becomes a place of regret. Breaking free is a daily decision. It's about choosing growth over ease, progress over stagnation, and potential over security. It's not a one-time thing, it's a lifestyle. Every day you have to challenge yourself, push your boundaries, and refuse to settle. Because the truth is, everything you want, the success, the growth, the fulfillment, it's all waiting for you on the other side of comfort. The people you surround yourself with are more than just companions. They shape your mindset, your habits, and ultimately your future. You might think you're in full control of your life, but the truth is your environment influences you more than you realize. If you spend time with people who are negative, lazy, or unmotivated, that energy will seep into your life. But when you surround yourself with driven, positive, and growth-minded individuals, you can't help but rise to their level. Your circle matters, and it matters more than you think. Think of your relationships as mirrors. The people around you reflect your values, your beliefs, and your standards. If your circle is filled with people who are constantly complaining, gossiping, or making excuses, that's what you'll start to see in yourself. But when you're surrounded by people who are ambitious, supportive, and focused on growth, they reflect the best version of you. They challenge you to think bigger, work harder, and push past your limits. One of the biggest mistakes people make is staying in relationships out of loyalty, even when those relationships no longer serve them. Maybe it's a childhood friend who's stuck in the past, a coworker who thrives on negativity, or a family member who doesn't believe in your dreams. It's not easy to distance yourself from these people, but you have to ask yourself, are they helping me grow, or are they holding me back? Growth requires tough choices, and sometimes that means walking away from relationships that no longer align with your goals. The right people will inspire and challenge you, not compete with you or tear you down. They're the ones who celebrate your wins, not because it benefits them, but because they genuinely want to see you succeed. They'll push you to dream bigger and hold you accountable when you start to slack. These are the people who see your potential even when you don't, and who refuse to let you settle for less than you're capable of. It's not just about finding successful people, it's about finding people with the right mindset. Success isn't just measured in money or titles, it's measured in resilience, integrity, and a willingness to grow. The right people might not have it all figured out, but they're on the journey. They're committed to bettering themselves, and being around them will inspire you to do the same. Their energy will fuel you, their discipline will challenge you, and their vision will remind you of what's possible. Building the right circle requires intentionality. You can't just wait for these people to show up. You have to seek them out. Look for mentors who've achieved what you aspire to achieve. Find peers who share your goals and values. Join communities, attend events, and network with people who are where you want to be. And when you find those people, invest in those relationships. Support them, learn from them, and show up for them the way you want them to show up for you. The wrong people don't just slow you down, they can derail you completely. Toxic relationships drain your energy, kill your motivation, and plant seeds of doubt in your mind. It doesn't matter how strong or focused you are, if you're constantly surrounded by negativity, it will affect you. That's why protecting your energy is so important. You have to be ruthless about who gets access to your time, your thoughts, and your emotions. Your circle is your foundation, and a weak foundation can't support a strong vision. The people you allow into your life will either lift you higher or pull you down. They'll either add to your growth or subtract from it. Every interaction you have is an investment, and you have to decide if that investment is moving you closer to your goals or further away. The right people won't just help you grow, they'll make the journey more meaningful and fulfilling. Time is the most precious resource you have, and yet it's the one most people waste without a second thought. Unlike money, you can't earn more of it. Unlike possessions, you can't replace it. Every minute that passes is a minute you'll never get back. The problem is that most people live like they have an endless supply of time, putting off their dreams, procrastinating on their goals, and filling their days with distraction. But time is not unlimited. To make the most of your life, you have to be intentional with every second you're given. Being intentional with your time starts with knowing your priorities. You can't manage your time effectively if you don't know what's important to you. What are your goals? What are the things that truly matter in your life? If you don't take the time to define your priorities, why you end up spending your days on tasks that don't align with your values or move you closer to your dreams. Every moment you spend on something unimportant is a moment stolen from something that truly matters. Distractions are the biggest enemy of intentionality. In today's world, there's no shortage of things, so no showing viewership on social media, endless notifications, binge-worthy shows, and mindless scrolling. These distractions might feel harmless in the moment, but they add up. Hours turn into days, days turn into weeks, and before you know it, you've spent months of your life on things that don't matter. To be intentional with your time, you have to take control of your attention and eliminate distractions that don't serve your purpose. One of the most powerful tools for intentional living is planning. If you don't plan your day will plan itself and it won't be in your favor. Start each day with a clear vision of what you want to accomplish. Write down your goals, prioritize your tasks, and set time blocks for the things that matter most. Planning doesn't just keep you organized, it gives you a roadmap to follow, ensuring that your time is spent on the things that align with your priorities. Being intentional with your time also means learning to say no. Too often, people overcommit themselves, saying yes to every request, invitation, or opportunity that comes their way. But every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. If what you're saying yes to doesn't align with your goals or values your time, saying no isn't selfish, it's necessary. It's how you protect your time and ensure it's spent on what truly matters. Another key to intentional time management is learning to focus on quality over quantity. It's not about how many hours you work, it's about how effectively you use those hours. You could spend 12 hours being busy but accomplish nothing meaningful. Or you could spend 3 hours deeply focused and achieve more than most people do in a day. Intentionality means working smarter, not harder. It means prioritizing deep work, cutting out unnecessary tasks, and maximizing the value of every moment. Reflection is an often overlooked part of being intentional with time. At the end of each day, week, or month, take a moment to look back and evaluate how you spent your time. Did you focus on your priorities? Did you make progress toward your goals? Were there moments you wasted on distractions or tasks that didn't matter? Reflection helps you identify patterns, adjust your approach, and continuously improve your time management. Being intentional with time means recognizing its finite nature. You don't have forever to chase your dreams, spend time with loved ones, or make an impact. Every moment counts, and every moment wasted is an opportunity lost. This isn't about rushing or cramming your schedule full. It's about living with purpose. It's about making conscious decisions to spend your time in ways that align with your values, fulfill your goals, and bring meaning to your life. Fear is one of the most powerful forces holding people back from achieving their potential. It whispers lies in your ear, convincing you that you're not good enough, that you'll fail, that the risks are too great. It keeps you small, stuck in your comfort zone, afraid to take the steps that could change your life. But fear is not your enemy. Fear is a signal. It's proof that you're standing at the edge of growth, staring at an opportunity that could transform you. Facing your fears is the key to unlocking the life you truly want. The first step in facing your fears is acknowledging them. Too often, people pretend their fears don't exist, pushing them aside and hoping they'll disappear. But fear doesn't vanish when you ignore it. It grows, it lurks in the background, influencing your decisions and limiting your actions. To overcome fear, you have to confront it head on. Be honest with yourself about what you're afraid of, whether it's failure, rejection, or uncertainty. When you name your fears, you take the first step toward taking away their power. Fear thrives on the unknown. It's not the thing itself that scares you, it's the uncertainty surrounding it. Will you succeed? Will people judge you? Will you lose something important? The only way to eliminate this uncertainty is to take action. Every time you face a fear, you gain clarity. You learn that the things you were so afraid of weren't as terrifying as you imagined. Action breaks the cycle of fear by replacing doubt with experience. When you avoid your fears, you give them control over your life. You let them dictate your decisions, limit your opportunities, and shrink your potential. But when you face your fears, you reclaim that control. You prove to yourself that you're stronger than your doubts and capable of handling challenges. Each time you confront a fear, you build courage and resilience, making it easier to face the next challenge. Fear doesn't disappear completely, but you learn how to move forward despite it. Facing your fears is not a one-time event. It's a practice. It's a habit you have to build just like any other skill. Start small. If public speaking terrifies you, begin by speaking in front of a trusted friend. If you're afraid of failure, set a small goal that feels just outside your comfort zone. Each small victory builds confidence and reinforces the belief that you can handle whatever comes your way. Over time, these small steps add up, and the fears that once paralyzed you become manageable. Fear has a way of magnifying the worst-case scenario. It convinces you that taking a risk will lead to disaster, that every mistake will be catastrophic. But the reality is rarely as bad as the fear makes it seem. Most of the time, the worst-case scenario is manageable, and the potential rewards far outweigh the risks. When you focus on the possibilities instead of the fears, you shift your mindset from one of avoidance to one of opportunity. The rewards of facing your fears are immeasurable. On the other side of fear is growth, freedom, and fulfillment. It's where you find the courage to chase your dreams, the strength to overcome obstacles, and the confidence to be your authentic self. Every time you face a fear, you expand your comfort zone, opening up new possibilities and opportunities. You become the kind of person who takes risks, embraces challenges, and refuses to settle for less than you deserve. Fear disappears entirely, and good thing. It's a reminder that you're pushing yourself, stepping into uncharted territory, and aiming for something greater. The goal isn't to live a life without fear, it's to live a life where fear doesn't control you. Facing your fears isn't about eliminating them, it's about learning to move forward despite them. Fear is not a barrier, it's a bridge to the life you're meant to live. Motivation is fleeting. One day you wake up feeling unstoppable, ready to conquer the world. The next day that energy is gone and you're left staring at your goals, wondering where the drive went. This is why relying on motivation is dangerous. It's inconsistent, unpredictable, and unreliable. Discipline, on the other hand, is steady. It doesn't depend on how you feel in the moment. Discipline is what gets you up when the alarm rings, what makes you show up even when you don't want to, and what keeps you moving forward when motivation fades. The problem with motivation is that it's tied to emotion. It's easy to feel motivated when things are exciting, new, or going well. But life isn't always exciting, and progress often feels slow and unglamorous. That's where discipline comes in. Discipline isn't about how you feel, it's about what you do. It's about making a commitment to yourself and sticking to it regardless of your mood, the weather, or any excuse that might come up. Discipline is about consistency, and consistency is what leads to results. Discipline is built on habits, not inspiration. Motivation might get you to the gym for a week, but discipline keeps you going month after month. Motivation might help you start a project, but discipline is you as you finish it. Discipline isn't glamorous. It's showing up when you're tired, choosing the harder path when it's easier to quit, and doing the work even when no one is watching. It's the daily grind, the small, repeated actions that compound over time to create something extraordinary. When you rely solely on motivation, you leave your success up to chance. You're waiting for the right move, the perfect circumstances, or a burst of inspiration. But life doesn't work that way. There will be days when you don't feel like doing anything, days when the excitement is gone, the obstacles seem overwhelming, and quitting feels like the easiest option. Discipline is what carries you through those days. It's your anchor, your foundation, and your greatest ally in the pursuit of your goals. Discipline is a skill, and like any skill, it can be developed. It starts with small intentional steps. Set a goal, create a plan, and commit taking consistent action. Start with something manageable, a daily walk, a commitment to read up for 15 minutes, or a promise to wake up 10 minutes earlier. Each time you follow through, you're building discipline. It's like a muscle, the more you use it, the stronger it gets. Over time, discipline becomes a habit, and habits become a lifestyle. One of the biggest misconceptions about discipline is that it's rigid or joyless. People think it means sacrificing fun, freedom, or happiness, but discipline doesn't take away from your life, it adds to it. It gives you control over your actions, your time, and your outcomes. It frees you from the roller coaster of emotions that comes with relying on motivation. Discipline creates stability, predictability, and progress. It's not about restricting yourself, it's about empowering yourself to achieve the things that truly matter. Discipline also builds confidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you prove to yourself that you're capable. You build trust in your ability to follow through, even when it's hard. That confidence spills over into other areas of your life. You start to believe in your potential, your resilience, and your ability to handle challenges. Discipline isn't just about what you accomplish, it's about who you become in the process. Motivation may light the spark, but discipline keeps the fire burning. It's the difference between dreaming about success and actually achieving it. Motivation is temporary, but discipline is lasting. It's what separates those who give up when things get tough from those who push through and reach their goals. Discipline isn't easy, but it's worth it. It's the foundation of success, the secret to consistency, and the key to building a life that reflects your highest potential. Leaving a legacy is about more than wealth, fame, or material possessions. It's about the impact you have on the world and the lives you touch along the way. Too many people live their lives focused solely on the moment, never considering how their actions today will shape the world tomorrow. But the truth is, we all leave something behind. The question is whether that something will be meaningful, whether it will inspire, uplift, and empower others long after you're gone. A legacy isn't built in a single moment. It's created through the choices you make every day. A legacy begins with purpose. You have to know what you stand for, what you believe in, and what you want to contribute to the world. Living without purpose is like drifting aimlessly through life, leaving nothing of significance behind. But when you live with intention, every action, decision, and interaction becomes part of a greater story. Your purpose is the foundation of your legacy. It's what gives your life meaning and guides your journey. Without it, you're simply existing, not truly living. Leaving a legacy doesn't require extraordinary talents or achievements. It's not about being famous or reaching the top of your field. It's about how you make people feel, the lessons you pass on, and the values you instill in others. A kind word, a helping hand, or a moment of encouragement can create ripples that extend far beyond what you can see. Small, consistent acts of kindness and integrity form the threads of a legacy that weaves itself into the fabric of other people's lives. Your legacy is shaped by the impact you have on the people around you. Whether it's your family, friends, co-workers, or even strangers, your actions leave an impression. Are you inspiring others to be better? Or are you leaving them unchanged? Are you empowering those around you to believe in themselves, or are you holding them back? A legacy isn't just about what you achieve, it's about who you help and how you make the world better for those who come after you. Living with the intention to leave a legacy requires thinking beyond yourself. It means making choices that align with your values, even when those choices are difficult. It means standing up for what you believe in, even when it's unpopular. It means focusing not just on what you can get, but on what you can give. True legacies are built on sacrifice, service, and the courage to act in alignment with a higher purpose. The beauty of a legacy is that it's not confined to the end of your life. You're building it every single day. It's in the habits you form, the relationships you nurture, and the values you uphold. Every decision you make adds to the story of your life, and every interaction leaves a piece of you behind. The time to start building your legacy is now, not someday, not when you've made it, but in this moment. The way you live today is the foundation for what you'll leave tomorrow. A legacy is not about perfection, it's about perseverance. You don't have to be flawless to leave an impact. Your struggles, failures, and lessons learned can be just as powerful as your victories. When you're authentic about your journey, you inspire others to embrace their own. The way you rise after falling, the way you keep going despite challenges, and the way you stay true to your purpose, that's what people will remember. That's what will resonate long after you're gone. Ultimately, leaving a legacy is about living a life of meaning. It's about creating something that endures, something that adds value to the world and serves others. It's not just about what you do, but about who you are, the character, love, and wisdom you leave imprinted on the hearts of those you touch. Your legacy is your gift to the future, a reminder that your life mattered, that your time here made a difference, and that your story continues through the lives you impacted.